everyone, and welcome to math for the week of September 14th. We are focusing this week on 10 frames. 10 frames are a great strategy for kids to understand number sense and to be able to add and subtract from 1 to 10 and from 11 to 20. And it's a great strategy along with my yardstick number line and the hundreds chart. 10 frames is the other one that I like to focus on with the kids to develop that number sense and understanding. So we are going to go ahead and get started. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to be making a 10 frame, actually 20 frame, and they're going to be using these later on. So these are a learning tool for them. So all they're going to do is they're going to take a couple pieces of printer paper and they're going to make their 10 frame using printer paper, school glue, and popsicle sticks. So basically you're just going to have them put a nice little line of glue on their popsicle stick. And they're going to start building their 10 frame. So they're going to put just one lined up right along the, about an inch from the edge on that side. And they're going to continue. All right. So they're going to do this 2 times. They're going to make one for the numbers 1 to 10, and they're going to make another one for numbers 11 to 20. And also just make a little line here. All right, so they're going to go ahead and they're going to start by building their 10 frames using the school glue and the popsicle sticks. Little line of glue on the popsicle stick, and then they're building their 10 frame. And then it's going to continue like that, okay? So they're going to make their 10 frames using the popsicle sticks, printer paper, and school glue. And then we're going to be using these later on this week. All right. So let's see what the next activity is going to be. So thumbprint 10 frames. So here's what you're going to need for that. You're going to need your watercolor, set of watercolors. You're going to need a wet paper towel, nice and wet, and put it on a plate of some kind of actual plate, nice and wet, watercolor, and their wet paper towel. And then you are going to also use some kind of either index cards. You can use just cards like this. They're little cardstock cards like this, or you can cut them straight out of a piece of printer paper. So you can always use an envelope from a set of thank you cards or some kind of a piece of paper along these lines. And then you're going to be making you're going to be helping them by making the 10 frame for them. And then they are going to be, I'm going to do this 10 times. You're going to make 10 of these. And what they're going to end up with is this wonderful wall hanging, okay? So here's the way they're going to do that. I think this is beautiful. So you're going to start by just taping 3 pieces of printer paper together like this, just right along the edge there. And you're going to make 3 of them like this, right? We're going to connect 3 pieces of paper together with some masking tape or regular tape. You're going to turn it around, and this is, well, mine's just, there'll be blank paper, but yeah, so printer paper taped on one side, and then they'll be using this side. So the next step is they're going to start making their 10 frames. So let's make sure they have something to protect the table, and they are going to be making their first 10 frame, and they're going to be using the watercolor set, and they're going to be wetting their thumb on the wet paper towel. This is thumbprints, so they're going to wet their thumb. They're going to rub it around really good, nice and hard, and then they're going to be making their thumbprint. Okay. And then they're going to choose a different color, so they're going to wipe off their thumb, and let's try orange. So you're going to have 1 pink and 9 orange. You can add more water, squish it around with your thumb. And when it gets too dry, you just wet it again with the paper towel. And there's your first 10 frame, like that. Okay, and they're going to use just a combination of colors, and then they're going to be making all of their 10 frames, the different combinations. 1 plus 9 is 10, 2 plus 8 is 10, etc. And then they're going to be using their glue stick to glue these on. So you're going to start with this one, with the 1 plus 9, and you're going to use plenty of school glue, or plenty of glue stick glue, and you're going to make sure that you have it really, really glued up. Lots of glue along the edges and everything. And then you're just going to be putting it on here, like this, okay? Like this, and so on. And after you have done your thumbprints, different combinations of color, 1 plus 9 is 10, 2 plus 8, etc. You're going to go back and you're going to use your markers to just make a colorful little edge to your images, so that you have something more like this, and so you've got your edges covered, and you have a wonderful wall hanging, and you're learning about combinations of 10. Good stuff. Beautiful. All right, so that is your second math activity. The thumbprints with the watercolors. All right. So the next activity, you're going to see this in your white math folder, these 10 frame sheets. Make a bunch of copies, okay? Make a bunch of copies of these. And what they're going to do is they're going to get their tempera paint. They're going to make a little palette with the paper out with a paper plate and Q-tips. Okay, and they're going to go ahead and make some combinations. So I might do 1 green and 9 reds. So just making little dots. Okay, so that's 1 plus 9, and then they're going to use their marker They're going to use their markers, and they're going to match the color with the paint to write their equation. So for me, I have 1 green and 9 reds, so I'm going to write 1 plus, and with black you can write the plus, and then 9 red equals 10. Okay, so it's going to look something like this. You're going to need to use another one of these two to finish this only goes up to 8. So basically they're using their Q-tips and their tempera paint and a paper plate, making a teeny little blob of each color, and they're going to write down the equation based on those colors. Okay? So that is the Q-tip tempera one. All right. Now, another thing that you should have gotten in your white math folder is this packet here. Here we have some numbers and the 10 frame next to it. So this first one would be 0 plus 10 is 0. I'm sorry, 0 plus 0 is 0. And then they're going to go on to number 1. So they're going to pick a marker color, and they're going to go ahead and make their number 1 by just coloring in the dots. Okay, they're going to make their number 1 by coloring in the dots, and then they're going to color in their 10 frame for 1 plus 9. So 1, I'm making that blue, and then we're going to do the rest in yellow this time. So I've got 1 blue. I'm just going to color right over the dot that's provided. You're going to color it in, and then you're going to add the other ones. So 9 more big dots. So, and then we're going to write the equation 1 plus 9 is 10, like that. So that's another day's activities. All right, so as you can see, you have number 2 now. So I'm going to color in my number 2 squares over the 2 dots, and then I'm going to be writing my number 2, just tracing it to make a number 2 with the big dots, and then I'm going to color in the rest of my 10 frame with another color. So I have red plus orange. So it's going to look something like this, and then you're going to write your equation coinciding with the color. So 2 plus, I have 8 orange ones. Okay, so it's going to look like that. Okay, you're going to color in all the dots to make your 2. And then you're going to make your equation according to the way you color in the 10 frame. So 2 plus 8 is 10. And I'm going to finish making my 2. And then you can also trace the lines in between the dots. Right? 2. Okay. So that is from your white math folder, these dittos, and this is an activity for one of the days. Okay. Let's see, what is the next activity we were going to do? Bead 10 frames. So you're going to have another copy of your 10 frames here. All right, you're going to have your 10 frame, another one of these copies. You're going to use your double-sided tape. You're going to use your double-sided tape and you're going to put it on the 10 frames. Stick those on there. And so you're going to just go ahead and use your beads. And for the first one, you're just going to stick one bead on there. And you're going to have them push it down really good. All right. 1 plus 9. And they can do this with their colored pencils or their pens to make their equation. So it's going to be 1 plus 9 equals 10. And then they're going to use their double-sided tape and they're going to keep going all the way down till they need 2 sides. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And they're pushing down their beads. We're going to be able to reuse these beads for other things, but for this activity, they're pushing down really hard on the double-sided tape. They're putting their beads on, and they're making their equation. So for this one, I'm going to try making 6 plus 4. So I have my 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6. Push them down nice. There's my 6. And I'm making my equation. 6 plus 4 equals 10. All right? So it's going to go like that. Using the double-sided tape and your beads. We're going to be practicing making their different combinations, 1 plus 9, 2 plus 8, 3 plus 7, etc. Okay? And it's going to go 1 plus 9, 2 plus 8, 3 plus 7, 4 plus 6, 5 plus 5, and then 6 plus 4, 7 plus 3, 8 plus 2, 9 plus 1. Okay, so it goes all the way. So just like this one. I'm going to go all the way from 1 plus 9 equals 10, all the way to 9 plus 1 equals 10. 1 plus 9, all the way to 9 plus 1 equals 10. So there's our bead double-sided tape project using a copy of this 10 frames sheet. Another one that is really nice is this one where we're going to be using our egg cartons. So we're going to take the lid off of the egg carton and you're going to help them make a 10 frame on there. And they're going to be using their push pins to make their 10 frame equation. Okay, so 3 plus 7 equals 10. Okay. They can also use their push pins to make a succession of numbers. So I could do 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. And these are sharp, so you want to be making sure that you're keeping an eye on them when they're doing this. Okay. So the push pins in the top of the egg carton, making a 10 frame and using the push pins to make your combinations. And for every activity in terms of the hands-on component, you always want to be doing your paper and pencil component to write the equation. So in this case, you could use a blank one of these. You could make your first combination. And then they're going to follow along by doing that same combination on a piece of paper, so that they're really starting to get the hang of what this is about. So paper and pencil component and the hands-on component together. Okay. Oh yes, so the Play-Doh one, or you could use your modeling clay. So you're going to take a cookie sheet. You're going to take a cookie sheet and you're going to use your masking tape and you're going to create a 10 frame with the masking tape on your cookie sheet. And then you're going to either use Play-Doh, if you've made Play-Doh or have some, or you can use your modeling clay from your sensory kit, and they're going to roll out 10 balls. And then again, they're going to be using another piece of paper, and they're going to make their combinations. So you're going to have them press down, and they can use their finger to press down with their thumb. They could also use a pen. And so this is your combination. 1 plus 9 is 10. And write it down here. And then you're going to do the next one. 2 plus 8 is 10. 3 plus 7 is 10. Okay, so they're going to go all the way from 1 to 9. And then you can always use the dice and the cards as random number generators to play a game with these different mediums. So as an example, if I had one dice and I rolled a 4, I would make my 4, and then I would write down 4 plus 6 is 10, okay? So they're using their hands and their multisensory processing to start to understand 10 frames better. So that is your Play-Doh one. And then finally, if you have an egg carton, actually I have 2 more. What you can do is you can, with your egg carton, you can cut the last 2 off of them. So you have 10 instead of a dozen, you have 10 instead of 12. And you can do this for 2 of them, okay? And then you can do your, first of all, just having them make their equation. 1 plus 9, you're using either your glass blobs, you can use your cotton balls, and you can use your beads to do these activities with the egg cartons. So I'm going to use my glass blobs right now, and I am going to start with making my combinations, and writing them down on one of these. Use colored pencil, marker, or pencil, and you're making your various combinations of 10. Now you can also start to go higher up in your numbers, which you will be doing with this, and you can also be doing with your wonderful new popsicle stick ones. And then we are going to be going into the higher numbers, so they might roll the dice. 2 dice, and I have 5 and 3, so that's 8. So I'm going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm going to roll again. And I have 7, so I'm going to start by writing down my 8 on my 10 frame. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 plus 7. So now I'm going to continue on like this. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And there you have 8 plus 7 equals 15. Okay, you can do this with the egg cartons. You can do this with your wonderful popsicle stick one. Okay, and you're always going to have a pencil or paper component to go with the hands-on one. Okay, everybody should have gotten one of these sets of 10 frames, and we're going to be using these to work with our 10 frames as well. So one of the activities might be just starting out by making the combinations. 1 blue and 9 red equals 10. You're going to do that for the, then you're going to do 2 plus 8 equals 10. 3 plus 7 is 10. 4 plus 6 is 10. Okay, so that is one of the exercises. Now you're going to try some other things. You could do with you could use 1 dice, and you have 3. I'm going to put 3 reds, and then the rest are going to be 5, 6, 3 plus 7. You see that? Now here's another thing you can do. You can take your counters like this, and you can shake them, and you just put them on the table like that, and let's see what I've got. I've got 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then the rest landed on red, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, right? So 4 plus 6. And 4 plus 6 equals 10. Okay, so there is your 10 frame activities for math for this week. I'm going to have a few sensory activities using the 10 frames. And good luck and have a great week. Bye.